Hello, welcome. So today we're going to take a little look in r/today I effed up. So if you're feeling bad about anything that you've done this day, this week, you may feel better after watching this. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in listening to today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Please, thank you. And of course, quick disclaimer, any opinions that I give on the stories that we read are just opinions, they are not facts and do not need to be taken as such. If you have a different opinion, that's fantastic. Please do share it in the comments below. Just make sure you keep it respectful. If you don't agree with each other or me, there is no need to be mean. Anyway, with that being said, let's get into it then, shall we? So, this first one was posted by Tango Man. Today I effed up. I did the meme, guys. I explained a paper to its author. I would never leave the house again. I don't even want to go into too much details because this is basically doxing myself instantly. But in my field of work, we have a list of ordinances and recommendations about certain aspects of the work. One, we must be certified and recertified in periodically to be considered fit for duty. This periodic process of certification includes an oral exam. So, here I am, going up to take the test, and one of the examiners says something I find to be profoundly wrong about the updated recommendations. Now, a calmer, more reasonable person would act with tact, maybe hesitate. I'm not that person, I'm not calm, I am not tactful. I have thoughts and I have opinions. Well, at least you are self-aware, OP. I literally stand up from my chair, practically doing a full Phoenix Wright objection, and go, well, those were the 1985 recommendations, but the 2022 paper actually noted that, and I begin explaining in depth the 2022 recommendations. OP. I hate to tell you this, but you might be one of those insufferable people that has to go, well, actually. The guy looks at me, cold as ice, and goes, and do you remember who wrote the 2022 recommendations? Of course, it was XY, and I literally trailed off mid-sentence because I realised who that was. It was that frigging guy. He was quizzing me on the recommendations issued by the committee he himself chaired a few years ago, and I, confidently wrong, am explaining his own recommendations to him. Yup, those were slightly different recommendations I was misremembering. He was right, I was not. I both hate and love this subreddit because it makes me laugh, but it also makes me cringe, and I hate the feeling of cringing. Oh, no. So, anyway, gonna be retaking that certification exam in 6 months. Wish me luck. TLDR, was taking an oral exam and tried correcting the examiner on a paper. He wrote that paper. I was not correct. Oh, do you know, I do love though that the OP is literally very self-aware and is like, you know, I don't know how to be tactful. I have opinions and I have to share them. Like, fair enough, mate, but maybe try tempering that down a little. So, down in the comments, Ecologist says, this makes my version of this much less embarrassing. Basically, I met this gal with a neat little squid charm and started info dumping to her about this awesome scientist blogger that she should totally check out if she likes squids. I was surprised because she seemed super receptive to my chatter, so I kept going. Anyway, after happily ranting for a good 10 minutes at this lady who was smiling and looking increasingly pleased, startled, I finally stop, finishing with how much I really admire this squid scientist, and she says, so I have bad news and great news. Edit, that may be somewhat paraphrased. This was like a decade ago. I just remembered she was very funny about going, I'm so glad you think so highly of that scientist because she is me. Well, at least she gave her a very good compliment. Like, it could be worse. You could do what OP just did. I blushed. A lot. Very hard. But hey, met one of my heroes, and she was neat. Edited since this gained unexpected attention. No, we didn't date. I was in my very early 20s and there was a considerable age gap. I also think she's straight, not sure about that though. This was just a one-off random interaction while I was sleep deprived from travelling. I doubt she even remembers it. Sarah McAnulty? McAnulty? That's a really hard last name to say. McAnulty. Yes, maybe, is the squid scientist. She is still awesome. I am now engaged to a wonderful bloke who let me start gardening on his land before we were even dating. Ah. So, next post posted by Traditional Type 881. Today I effed up by saying I mentally checked out at 3:30 on a Friday afternoon in a job interview. What? Oh, OP. So, before I start, I want to say that 100% own this fuck up. Background, I had an interview a few weeks ago with a different company. That interview was on a Friday afternoon and I could see the interviewer was exhausted. He was nice, but I could tell that he just wanted to get the interview over with and go home. I didn't get that job, and having gone over the interview with the recruiter, we realised his mind had probably already gone home for the day. To be fair, I've also done interviews as the interviewer on Friday afternoons, and I know that it was a lot harder for me to remember things, engage with the candidate, or focus on what the candidate was saying. So, lesson learned, don't do interviews on a late Friday afternoon as either employer or employee. I get a screening call today from HR for a different job. It goes okay, but it is at the end of the day and I'm feeling quite tired. The HR person then asked if I could do an interview this Friday. Without thinking, I say okay. They then ask morning or afternoon, and say afternoon because I have meetings in the morning, thinking that it will be around lunchtime. HR then says, how about 3:30 p.m? I then say, no, yep, I dragged the word no out just like that, shaking my head. I don't think that's a good time. I don't know about the hiring manager, but I'm mentally checked out on Friday afternoons. Just like that. I tried to walk it back and kind of explain the situation like I said above, but between being tired and completely mortified by what I just said, it felt like I was adding gasoline to the nuclear explosion. To her credit, she took it in her stride, but I could hear the "did he just say that?" in her voice. He still sent me the invite to the interview, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I toasted my chances. Again, no one else's fault but my own, and I know this will be a funny story to tell the guys at drinks, but right now I can't stop hitting my head against my table about this. P.S. Yes, my spelling and grammar are impeccable and my writing has a certain style to it. Not because I used AI, but because I'm old enough to remember when you lose online arguments just because you used the wrong apostrophe. And I have been writing emails and online posts since LLM was just a twinkle in Sam Altman's eye. I am the generation that AI trained itself off of. I don't sound like AI. AI sounds like me. I didn't think he sounded like AI in that. Honestly, though, I follow a lot of like artists and stuff on YouTube, and I've noticed they always get accused of it being AI. It's like, mate, look back on their videos from like 5 years ago. They've been doing this a long time. Leave them alone. They're not AI. So, down in the comments, FlyNavy03 says, that was definitely dumb, but might be survivable. She probably isn't on the decision-making process for the hiring, so I guess it will depend on what she shares with the ones doing the interview. Still made me laugh though, so points for that. And then Celeste Petal says, plot twist, the HR person was so checked out themselves that they just heard Friday doesn't work and moved on. Yeah, maybe, hopefully. Okay, next post posted by Beneficial String 411. Today I effed up by telling my dentist I floss every day, and now she sends me floss positive emails quarterly. Okay, backstory. 4 years ago, I went in for a cleaning, had not been in 2 years, was deeply ashamed. Dentist asked, "Do you floss daily?" And I said, "Yes. I'm 42. I knew what I was doing." I lied directly to a medical professional for no reason. She believed me. This is the problem. She fully believed me. She wrote it in my file. So every 6 months I go in, she congratulates me on my flossing consistency, and I nod like a war criminal. The other day I got an automated email from the practice that said, "We love our daily flossers," and listed me in a generic blast. What? That's so weird. Although I genuinely don't think the dentist believes you at all. I think she's playing a mind game here. I really do. I think she's like, "Oh, you're going to lie to me? I'm going to make you feel so bad for lying to me." Like I'm a poster child. I had to sit down. A 42-year-old man, humbled by an email about dental hygiene. I have flossed maybe 11 times in my entire adult life. She thinks I'm a hero. My 12-year-old niece flosses more than I do. She does not have a dentist who writes her emails. I don't know how to come back from this. I'm too old to start flossing now. No, you're not. Get that floss in your mouth. Honestly. Like, do it. You don't want to end up with, like, rotten teeth. That'd be more suspicious than continuing the lie. No, it wouldn't. TLDR, at 42, told my dentist I floss daily in a moment of weakness. She now praises me every visit and sends me floss-positive email blasts. I cannot tell her the truth. I have flossed 3 times this year. Mate, if you have only flossed 11 times in your entire adult life, that dentist knows. Like, they know. There is no way they can't tell. Like, it's just not happening. So, down in the comments, Unwitting Hungarian says 3 times a year. They can tell 3 times a month easily. You are on the passive-aggressive mailing list. Congratulations. Yeah, see, this is exactly what I think too. I think the dentist is playing a game here. And then the OP says, passive-aggressive mailing list is the phrase I was looking for. I knew in my bones something was off about the exclamation marks. And then Truth Fairy 78 says, lol, dentist here can confirm we engage in psychological warfare regularly. We know none of you are actually doing it. Excuse me, I floss every single day, thank you. My dentist is very impressed by my daily flossing, thank you please. It's like my biggest achievement as an adult, that. Cannot get my shit together, but at least I floss every day. That's one thing I can say that I've managed to get down. And to be honest, that's mostly out of anxiety of like ending up with some terrible heart disease because I haven't flossed enough. Like, it's crazy. That's what happens when you have health anxiety. Your brain tells you these weird things, and sometimes in a strange, roundabout way, it ends up helping a little bit because I don't miss a single bloody day. Okay then, next post posted by My Bird is a Pokemon. Today I effed up by not realising I've needed glasses my whole life. So, I've never been to an optometrist before today. I also thought I had really good vision, and I was super proud when I was growing up that I was the only one in my family that didn't need glasses. I always got told I had 20/20 vision when they did those mass eye exams back in school for all the children, and I was always happy about it. I was special. I had perfect vision. I did, however, notice for most of my life that whenever I was reading a book for a long time, or looking at screens for too long, my long-distance vision would get really blurry, but it would go away after a while. I assumed it was normal. I told myself everyone gets eye strain after looking at stuff up close for a while. I brushed it off. Once I started driving though, I started noticing it was getting harder and harder to see the road signs, especially at night. I stopped driving at night because I couldn't see where I was going very easily. I chalked it up to night blindness. Ah, yes. Now I know it can be a thing where people will have worse vision at night, but usually that's because there is an issue with your eyes. So if that starts happening where you're really, really struggling to see things at nighttime, get to the opticians. Like, quick fast. Told myself it was perfectly normal. Lately though, I've been trying to take better care of my physical health. I started noticing a weird dark spot in my vision sometimes, so I decided to get it checked out and scheduled an eye exam. During said exam, I was smacked in the face with a harsh reality. I've been in denial my whole life. I was diagnosed with nearsightedness and a mild astigmatism. I was floored at the difference the lenses they used to test my vision made once we figured out my proper prescription. I couldn't believe I'd been walking around seeing everything so blurry all the time. I saw clearly for the first time in my life, and I'm in disbelief that I thought this was normal. Moral of the story, kids, get your eyes checked. You might be missing more than you realise. TLDR, spent my entire life being proud that I had perfect vision just to be humbled by an eye exam when I saw the world clearly for the first time. Get your eyes checked, guys. Now, I am so confused on how the parents never took their kid to an optician's once. Like, I don't know if maybe it's not the same everywhere, but I know here in the UK, you're supposed to take your kids to the opticians just for a checkup. Like, I don't know if it's like yearly or every other year. I know for my youngest it's yearly, but obviously it's not the same for everyone. But yeah, how did the OP's parents never take them to an optician's before just to get their eyesight just checked, just make sure everything's going okay? That's so strange to me. But yeah, I was terrible because I got given glasses because basically my eyes, I can see fine when I don't have them on, but it's because my eyes completely overcompensate and strain to do so. So it was causing a lot of eye strain, a lot of pain and what have you. So I gave in and I went and I was just like, okay, I'm going to accept them and I will actually wear them all the time this time. And it does make a hell of a lot of difference. And now when I take them off, it's like nearly immediately my eyes adjust to be able to see like perfectly fine. But it feels so tense inside my eyeballs. It's so weird. I can't explain the feeling, but I can automatically feel that overcompensating that my eyes do to be able to see properly, if that makes sense. And everything feels just a little bit like wonky when I don't have them on. I don't know, it's weird. It's hard to explain, really. So yeah, I ended up having to wear them all the time now, and I just keep them on all the time. Like the optician was like, you know, you can take them off now and then, but honestly, the way that it makes my eyes feel when I don't wear them, yeah, not a fan of that. Not a fan. Anyway, let's have a look down at the comments then, shall we? So, Bravest Blossom says, don't feel bad. My parents had no idea that I needed glasses until I was 12 and commented while we were driving, gee, it's so silly that they make these road signs where you can't read them until you are right beside them. The giant green highway signs with letters a foot high. Ha ha ha, my poor parents looked at each other and realised I'm blind and they didn't know. Oh my god. So then Reluctant Avenger says, a teacher noticed when I was 12 that I walked to the trash can in the front of the classroom more often than expected and suggested to my parents that I should have my eyesight tested. The test revealed that I couldn't even identify the big letter at the top of the eye chart. My glasses were a revelation. Up to that point, I had never seen the world before. Imagine suddenly being able to identify people more than 10 feet away. Yeah, because I imagine if that's been the same since you were a kid, like it's a mental thing to imagine someone basically sitting there and being like, yeah, I've never actually seen the world right, ever. That's crazy to imagine that nothing was ever picked up on, but at the same time, if you think, if they've grown up with their eyesight that bad their whole lives, in a way, I understand why the OP and the commenters didn't realise there was a difference, but I still am baffled how no adult, teacher, like school eye examiner, didn't notice that there was something amiss. And on that note, I think that's all we've got time for today. If you made it all the way to the end with me, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you give a little like, subscribe, notifications on, that is your initiation into the Governor Void. Welcome. Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. And don't forget to leave an offering of a comment for Big Al. He really very much enjoys them. Yes, he does. Like I say, he eats them for lunch. You must feed Big Al. Don't let him go hungry today. Oh, and real quick, one of you guys in the comments the other day let me know that you can apparently make your videos into podcasts as well on the channel. So I have gone through and I have done that for most of my videos. I think there's going to be some that are missed because you can basically go and select existing videos, but it doesn't give you all of your videos. So I had to try and type in as many of the subreddits that we've done as possible and try and find them all. So I have done that for anyone who prefers to listen in podcast format. Apparently it helps with making sure YouTube's algorithm doesn't flag you up as AI or something. So I thought, I'm going to look into how to do that. So yeah, thank you to the person who suggested that because I didn't know that that was a thing. I didn't know you could do that. So I had a look into it last night, and it was saying as well that it can be quite good for like helping with the channel sort of reach and growth and what have you, because some people only listen to podcast versions of things on YouTube. So yeah, I've done that. If anyone wants to listen to these videos in podcast form, it's literally just the videos, but I don't know the difference, but it's there if you want it. And like I say, apparently it helps with getting around the algorithms deciding this channel is AI. So yeah, we don't want that. You know, with being a faceless channel, I imagine that could be an issue, maybe. I mean, I don't see how it could though. I'm clearly not. Bye!